Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And man, did I have a lot of people ask me what I'm doing with my Bitcoin right now and what I'm doing with my crypto, and I can basically and quickly tell you guys, I am not selling anything. Even though it may be the most efficient choice to sell and try buy back, I'm not taking that risk. I'm not trying to sell my XRP. I'm not trying to sell my Bitcoin, not trying to sell my Ethereum, because I am not about to take that risk where we skyrocket and I am not part of it. So that's just a quick little shout out to that. Also guys, make sure you press the like button, subscribe, and comment something down below, because the first time a video hits 1,500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away 250 XRP. Having said that, $789 million liquidated as Bitcoin collapses below 22,000. So yeah, I mean, if you could take a swing like this, if you could sell at about 24 and buy back at 22, that is perfect. But for most of us out there who don't have Speedy Gonzalez fingers, it's not going to be too possible, or it's going to be such a risk where you're risking all your potential future profits for a 10% gain. It's just not worth it. At least to me, it is not. Especially considering how low these altcoins are still. Yeah, I mean, what is a 10% difference going to make longer term? If you're thinking XRP is going to go to a couple of dollars, then 53, 58 cents, it's all kind of the same thing, at least to me. 10% change is not much considering what is to come, especially if you're left out. Because you can see here, a lot of people went long with their, I guess, liquidation at 22,000 or just a little bit above or just a little bit below. And when prices make big shift, the big thing that happens is there's a lot of people who entered the space newly. They entered, like, let's say last week or so when Bitcoin broke all-time high. And what they have is they have like the tendency to really sell quite quickly when the price moves down a little bit. And what happens then is because they sell at one point, the price moves down a little bit further. No, actually, I should go a step backwards. First of all, institutions are buying constantly, right? But added on top of that, these retail guys, so like the guys like you and I, are buying as well. So the price moves up, 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 up. Eventually, some of these institutional buyers or people with, billions of dollars or at least hundreds of millions, they sell a little bit. And what happens is the price moves down just a teeny weeny bit. However, added to that, all these retail guys, they also decide to sell. What that does is that it does not take only out a couple of these longs, but it takes out a lot of them because the price actually moves down quite a lot more due to panic and due to the FOMO to the downside. So not fear of missing out of buying more right now, but fear of missing out on the correction, so to speak. And yeah, the price just keeps dumping, goes lower than it should have normally gone had it been a healthy market, and it liquidates a ton of people, which actually creates a bearish narrative. However, since we're in such a big now with like the stimulus and the bigger situations, which we'll talk about a little bit later happening, things are still looking very, very positive, but that's something you definitely needed to know. Also guys, if you're from the US, make sure you check out Webull, make an account and deposit something if you want to get yourself a couple of free stocks. I definitely recommend it. And a couple of people have been asking me, but yes, I do like GSX. This newer growth coin is the first of its kind. I basically bought some now because I think it is going to be quite a big thing. And basically here are all the prices and exactly how much you're going to get. At the bottom you can see you'll get some bonuses if you buy some more and stuff like that. But the basic point of this is I have bought some, and even though there are quite a lot of allegations against them, now I'm definitely taking that risk. Again, I'm gonna recommend you guys all to do your own research and check it out properly if you want to. But I have put some money in, and I think it's worth the risk. You guys get that? Where you're not sure if it's going to make you a ton of money, but where GRT, for example, the graph, like we talked about earlier, let's type it in here. These types of scenarios, they sometimes have like sales, right? Where, for example, just before they get launched, they have a sale. And sometimes you're like, oh, should I buy? You're like, no, it's too risky, for example, or it's too this, too that. Right now, I'm taking that risk and just buying myself a little bit. But again, don't go too heavy. Don't put your whole freaking bank account in something like that. Because again, we got to diversify our holdings, right? I'm buying some different cryptos and some cryptos or assets that may come out in the future. And this one is backed by real gold. So that's also something that's pretty damn cool. Then VTB Bank, first in Russia to issue a digital bank guarantee via Russian blockchain platform. VTbank has become the first in Russia to issue a digital bank guarantee for commercial operation using the Russian blockchain platform MasterChain. A guarantee for the fulfillment of payment obligation in the amount of 392 million rubles, or $5 million US, was issued in favor of the leading Russian company for the provision of digital media and telecommunication services MTS PJSC. The thing you need to know about this whole ordeal here is that Russia, as of this point, actually has very confusing crypto laws and very confusing fintech, I'm going to call it now, laws, and just a generally very confused climate right now. However, I'm actually noticing that quite a lot is changing over there, as a lot of these parties that are very much involved in crypto are located in Russia, and a lot of them have been moving out or have just been really bashing I don't know if it's government officially or Congress over there. I don't know exactly how the hierarchy works, but they've been bashing them for a better or more clear framework. And one of the things Russia did quite recently was actually make it so everybody in the, I believe, government, I don't know the official stance for that as well, but everybody in Congress or government or something like that has to publicly make available their crypto holdings. And we just saw one guy of 19 years of age who had like $20 million or so in Monero, which is pretty damn crazy, but it's coming there, all right? Russia is getting there, and they're letting quite a couple of cool things out nowadays. So I think the climate is changing for Russia, which is a very good thing for the general public. Then JP Morgan presents Bitcoin correction scenario. The bank mentioned a strong case of Bitcoin correction if funds into the Grayscale trust slow down dramatically. So as of this point, Grayscale, PayPal, and Square are buying a ton of Bitcoin, more Bitcoin by far than is being mined, and or at least being sold off of the minings. And the thing is, if Grayscale, which primarily exists of huge institutional investors that are, not that eager to buy Bitcoin themselves, why they don't want to, I'll get into a little bit later here. As I talked about it yesterday, but I think there's a couple of points to add to that story. The gist of it is just they don't know either how to buy it, they don't know how to store it, or they're just too afraid to really expose themselves without kind of being in the same space as others, right? Because if you're buying into the Grayscale Trust, you're only together with other institutional investors, basically. So it's a little bit, you feel safer that way, instead of just buying some coin yourself off of a place you don't know, especially if you're trying to invest 500 million, because what exchange are you going to do that on, right? That's kind of how they feel. But if they were to stop buying, or if they were to get less institutional investors, it could actually mean a very good correction for Bitcoin, as the amount of Bitcoin mined and being sold then is still quite high, but the amount of Bitcoin being bought, since they're such a huge part of it, would slow down dramatically, which means the demand is a lot less, while the supply actually keeps going up. Yeah, that wouldn't be too good. However, I do actually see it quite differently, since I think that Grayscale is actually going to increase their buys only, as they have gotten quite a lot more customers already, and they actually got quite a cool advertisement plan for 2021 as well. So I think they're only now starting to get into it quite heavy. By the way, I don't think you can actually only enter Grayscale's trust as an institutional, but I'm just talking about some big players being bundled together in that trust. But basically, no, I don't think it's going to slow down at all. However, it is overbought, and the trust is way too expensive for what it should be. Then, Bitcoin price nears exhaustion. Technical expert expects pullback very soon. The only thing I can say about this one is we expected 24,000 to be a point where it would fall back down. However, there is actually quite some strong support, as we've seen as well, and things aren't looking as dire as is once expected. A lot of the guys on Twitter were saying sell while you still can, sell. But if you did that, then it could have been that you sold right at this 22.7 thousand border, as on some exchanges it actually went to 22,000 or even lower than that. Yeah, and it could have definitely been that you lost money now by being such a quick guy to sell. So me personally, I'm not going to recommend anybody to do anything at all. I'm just saying, hey, stick to your core, stick to the roots, and just ride the wave if you're a long-term holder. Don't mind it too much, but this is not financial advice. Do your own research, and I'm just a random guy on the internet. Don't trust me with financial stuff, please, all right? Yeah, even if you guys say, man, I bought XRP because of you at 20 cents or 12 cents or whatever. I mean, it's kind of cool to hear, but that's not my role here, all right? I can officially not give you guys legal advice. I can only tell about what I am doing here and what my plan is and stuff like that, but don't take it as financial advice, please. Just consult a professional for that. MicroStrategy buys additional 29,000 Bitcoins for 650 mil during recent correction. And we were talking about them running out of Bitcoins in terms of buying power. I don't think so, guys. I think the institutions are only getting bigger right now, and especially due to the whole stimulus package that's going around. I'm going to talk about that in depth, all right, about the stimulus and about Elon Musk and stuff, because it's been going pretty crazy. But trust me when I say these guys are not stopping to buy. These guys want to have it all. And the only thing I'm afraid of is that there's not enough Bitcoin for all of us, that they're just locking it all up on their own platforms, which is really, really going to be annoying. But I'm not worried that there's not enough buying power. No, I'm not at all. Ripple partner SBI partners with Securitize to offer custody for institutions. So whenever you read this type of stuff, custody for institutions, you should automatically be thinking about three different things. One is a platform being built. A platform meaning, for example, the Grayscale as a trust. I guess that's the second part actually. More so a Webull or a PayPal or a Cash App. The platforms where they actually sell crypto to you, as if you're a custodial service, it's actually a lot easier to also operate as an exchange or to operate as a, I guess a platform later on because you know how to hold crypto. You should also be thinking about trust, which is actually a second option because, well, a trust is often also a custodian. And the reason that, well, the guys who are buying the Bitcoin in the Grayscale Trust, the biggest issue that they face is they don't know how to properly buy and store Bitcoin or crypto in general. And, they often could either choose to go for a custodian service, or they can buy, in this case, a trust like they did. But Grayscale takes a 2% fee, mostly just to store the money, which is also what a custody would do. And a third one I would say is like an exchange or basically a Coinbase replicant, or just to enter into the spaces as one that can hold a behemoth amount of money for institutional investors, as mostly custodial services are used by bigger institutions to safeguard the money. But it could be that they're also planning to onboard a couple of huge partners or their own money, as SBI here partnered up with them. It could be that SBI wants to route money through there, by just getting some partners themselves and, making securitized deposited basically. Or if they want to store their own money, we don't really know exactly what that is about, because institutions could be running through SBI, or they want to kind of be the middleman between these two, right? Or just for SBI themselves and the institutions that work with them, if you guys get the difference. SBI Digital Asset Holdings is to integrate its digital asset wallet with the digital securities platform from Securitize. SBI seeks to expand its focus on institutional investors, and I think it's pretty good. All right, all of this is also very positive for Ripple, as we talked about before. Everything that SBI is doing is very, very nice. However, it might be kind of questioned as to how positive this is all for Ripple and how much for Stellar, However, since the SBI CEO is also in the board of directors at Ripple, or the advisory board, I kind of feel as if that guy has more out for XRP than for Stellar, so I'm positive about this. Ripple price analysis following long consolidation. Can XRP retest 2020 high at 78 cents? Despite the 12% weekly increase, and as all the focus falls on Bitcoin, XRP continues to stagnate compared to other altcoins and remains below 60 cents. Is this the calm before the storm for Ripple? I'm going to kind of guess it is, where I'm just thinking, man, this 80 cents mark is just going to be the start of something bigger. And even though many people are saying, well, we need to hit $1 first before talking about bigger price predictions, I'm not on that same road. I'm not on that same road at all, as I'm like, well, let's just try to accumulate as many coins as we can before a big surge upwards, as I really don't want to bear the risk, as I've said before, of not having enough. And I'm not really worried about the $1 barrier, as you'll most likely see that we'll get to $1 in like 2 days or so from when a new Bitcoin bull run starts, or when I guess the Bitcoin bull run kind of ends, I should say, and moves over into an altcoin run. But it wouldn't probably take long. So worrying about that is definitely something on your own end that's most likely wrong, as $1 is not going to be the barrier that some people claim it's going to be. All right, we should more so look at all-time high. Then one thing I should quickly mention, a lot of people have been commenting this. How does Flare and Spark work? Will it replace XRP? Will I get it for free? How do I know I got it? Well, guys, if you have your XRP on an exchange, you can basically kind of just trust in the system where you're gonna get your Spark eventually. And no, Spark is not gonna be replacing XRP. Spark is something that's built on top of XRP, and it's just something that's given to you for free. All right, if you have XRP, do not worry about it. It will not lose its value or anything. You're just going to get some additional coins for free by doing nothing. And if your money is on an exchange, you have it automatically. Eventually, though. It's not given out just quite yet. They only took the snapshot where they registered exactly how much you're going to get, but you didn't really get it. You'll all get it at the same time, so do not worry about it. And yeah, it's basically some free money that you're given. Be sure to take care of the taxes, though. Make sure you do that properly, because I don't know how it's going to work, but every country has its different laws, and it might be very much annoying. I don't really know yet for you. But make sure you check it out and do it properly, because you're going to get this money eventually, and it's completely free. It's not going to replace XRP, but it's good for XRP's progress as it enters into the DeFi space right now, all right? So make sure you have that clear. Make sure you check out this GSX, by the way, guys. Link down below. And yes, I put some of my own money into it. And again, I'm not too sure it's going to give us a huge ROI, right? But it's supposed to be a growth coin where the value of the coin increases kind of on par with the amount of gold or gold-ish land that it's backed by. You guys gonna get that? Just check the website out. And if you have any questions, just join Discord and ask us, because we've been figuring this all out together, all right? I knew about this whole thing from another YouTuber, and everybody's kind of been going around like that, where they heard it from somebody else. But I talked to the team, and every question that we talked about in the Discord, I just asked them, and I sent the answer back. And we've all kind of agreed that it sounds quite fair, and it sounds pretty good as an opportunity. So once more, I'm just putting some money in. If I lose it, I lose it. But I think if it does do well, I mean, if it just runs like it's supposed to, it's going to give us a lot of money eventually. And again, this is before it actually hits the exchanges, which is that good opportunity, again, to make a huge ROI. So I'm testing it out, and let's hope for something bigger. All right, then also on a side note, Ledger, man, Ledger, oh, I'm going to get into that very, very heavily just now, guys, because I'm really, really sad with what Ledger just pulled on us. But I'll talk about that later. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody.